What's up, guys? Technicals here. It's time for the weekend switch up, where I switch my mining rig over to something new and let it run for basically the whole week. A little different week this week, but we're still going to do the switch up. If you're unfamiliar, I had a GPU mining farm. Now I only have one rig of 3 cards, so I have to be very choosy and very careful on how I mine. I mostly speculative mine. I mine for yield. I'm looking for things that could go up, by a factor of 20, 50, 100 versus mining stuff that's the most profitable every day and selling out to finance electricity. I'm really rolling the dice here. I'm looking at stuff that has that big X factor. And so I highlighted how I go about choosing my coins in the previous first video of this, but I'm going to go through it again today, just kind of through the process as I do it, just so you can follow along. Let me know in the comments below if this is something you do, if you mine for yield, or if you're somebody that mines the most profitable thing every single day, sells it out to finance electricity, or somewhere in between. You put some rigs on one thing for yield, some things on another thing for profitability, some things on just to finance your HiveOS or your pool fees or whatever. Let me know in the comments below. I'm the Technicals. Let's get into it.
The Technicals.
All right, just for shits and giggles, starting out, we're over here on what to mine. Hashrate.no seems to be a little more accurate, a little better, but hey, let's take a look at what to mine and see what we're on here. So again, looking for coins that are going to yield high, that are going to, maybe give me some more of a future. And I typically am going to probably stay away from the stuff that's near the top of the list. So Narai, one that I've been mining quite a lot of lately, and seems like a lot of other people have been mining it too. Near the top of the list, same with AI Power Grid. Chlor, I've been back and forth on there. I spent the previous week, or a lot of the week, on Nioxa. Paprika, that was the winner of last week's, and so it kind of close to the top. And I think more so because of just the lack of anything else to mine. Because look, it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th place coin currently is yielding a profit of 8 cents. So in dire straits, boys, but that's why we yield mine, because we're looking for that X factor. I'm not really taking much of this information to heart. I'm just kind of getting a feel for where things are at. Ironfish, we were on there before. Not so sure. Let's take a look at hashrate.no and see what they like. Cortex on Cuckoo, Cortex, Pyron, Carlson, yikes. A lot of these are, it's showing, some profit here, a little more than what to mine was, but I don't really take much of this to heart. I'm really concerned with the overall hash rate drops to get the maximum yield. So just to make sure, we head over to Bitcoin Talk to make sure there's not some brand new project that launched and we want to jump on right away. Typically I'll look and just kind of parse through. If there are threads with lots of pages and comments, you can rest assured that it's several years old. We'll take a look at Alex Network. Storing Network, we looked at that one this morning, and that was a no. Looks like we're kind of coming up short, kind of light on Bitcoin Talk lately. Not many projects launching, and that's to be understood. We looked at Nepali earlier as well. That's going to be a no. Alex Network, we're just looking for POW, or if it's on Algo at hash, that's going to be a no. Okay, so heading over MinerStat, the hash rate losers. Usually these are coins I've never even heard of that have these giant hash rate drops. Let's just go straight for the good stuff. Mining pool stats. Ooh, look, we have a brand new one, Tabo protocol on RandomX. So that's a CPU coin. We might explore that with our CPU miner that's running right behind me there, because we finally got it up and operating. We haven't really tweaked it with it much yet, but we'll eventually incorporate that into this weekly switch up on what we want to get on. So Tabo protocol, yeah, definitely want to keep that in mind. But really, let's go to the homepage here on Mining Pool Stats, because we're looking to start our sorting process, and this is typically where the meat is, and I kind of get a feel for what I actually want to mine. So we sort by difficulty change, ascending, and no data. It's usually on the first 6-7 pages. There's no data, and then we get down here. So we don't really want to touch anything that's had a super significant drop, but after we get into the results here, then we start looking at the volume category. So anything that has a volume over, say, I'm gonna say $15,000 in the past 24 hours is certainly worth looking at. And then also the algorithm it's on, because it doesn't make sense for a script coin or SHA-256 or anything like that. So moving down, again, we're just doing this in real time. I'll edit out this part where I'm just kind of looking. Zenosis on X11, big drop in network hash, but X11 ASIC. And we expect to see some big coins have significant drops in their net hash because, again, the market's kind of down. Zephyr, popular CPU coin, 50% drop in net hash and $740,000 in volume. So we might want to look at that, but Zephyr I've been trying to do some testing on, and I can go to their GitHub and download the wallet, but I first went to their website and it's been down. It's been down for about 3 days, and I've messaged them on Twitter, no reply. Now I understand things happen, but for your website to be down 3 days, you're a digital product. Your website can't be down for that long. So it doesn't inspire much confidence. If you're a Zephyr fanboy, sorry, but it doesn't inspire a lot of confidence. Varus, which we're currently mining on the CPU, $16,000 in volume, CPU coin, 40% drop in net hash, so we're getting good yield there. We can, at least kind of be confident that we are getting the best yield. So here's our first one. I've never messed with this coin before, Super Zero on ProgPal. About $500,000 in volume over the previous 24 hours, 28% drop in net hash. That could be a potential. Now Narai, we saw over on What to Mine, Narai was near the top of the list on What to Mine, which makes me kind of gloss over it immediately. But a 21% drop in its net hash, it's a 1,400,000 in total volume. So maybe if nothing else really kind of looks sexy to us, maybe we'll just throw it back on Narai. Of course, if you guys know of a coin that you think is great and has a big drop in net hash, has high yield currently, let me know in the comments below. Now we're getting into the bigger coins that have only experienced maybe a 10% drop in net hash. Carlson down 13%. If you're currently still on Carlson, you may explore that. $80,000 in total volume in the previous 24 hours. And now we're getting kind of high up the list, the coins that haven't experienced that much of a drop in their network hash rate. So really a lot of these I'm going to be throwing on the potential list. AI Power Grid, Sadox, which we were on previously. I don't mess with Verge, Raptorium, CPU coin, but still. Cheese coin, that's script. We're getting into the single-digit drops on the overall net hash over the previous week. So a lot of bigger coins here, like Litecoin. I'm sure Doge is fluttering around in there somewhere. Raven coin as well. But honestly, I want to stay true to my policy of going for the maximum yield, and so we're going to go with the one that we saw on the very first, at the lowest point of the net hash drop, which is going to be Narai. So let's switch over to Narai now. Narai XNA over on 2 miners, and so let's go back to overview. Because we were on Neox previously, it's still on Capal, so we're going to leave the overclocks in place. And because I have the mining rig out in the building, the temperatures are really low at night, so I'm not as concerned. Put the fans on auto. I usually leave the fans on a static amount of like 80-90% because I'm in that camp that believes you should run fans at a constant speed all the time, but because they're out in the building, I let them dial down. So yeah, we're going to let that run. If we head back over to What to Mine and go back up to the list and look at Narai, it's telling us that Narai had a 6.7% increase in its net hash, but we know What to Mine is usually a little laggy. Hashrate.no telling me I'm going to get 652 XNA per day. What to Mine's telling me that I'm going to get 637, so What to Mine's telling me I'm going to get significantly lower, so maybe they haven't updated their net hash yet. So checking the actual network difficulty over on MinerStat, looks like the current diff is at 37,000. What to Mine's showing it at 40. Hashrate also showing it at 40, so both of these are showing it right at 40. MinerStat showing it at 37, a little bit less, so yield to go up a little bit, but otherwise that's what I'm doing on the Sunday switch up. I'm just briefly going through these and kind of finding something to roll the dice on. Which number do I want to put my chips on for this week? So let me know in the comments below if you follow a similar pattern, if you go for yield, if you go for the daily, what do you do? Let me know, because I want to crowdsource my opinion on these things. Until I can get back to the point where I have a beefier GPU operation, I think this is the best course of action, because I'm not exactly dealing with a lot, and what am I going to do? Sell out every day and pocket a quarter? It's just not worth it at that point. There becomes a threshold where it's like, why even bother? And I think I'm well below that threshold. So hopefully in the future, with the additional income from ASICs, hopefully with price appreciation, we can look into financing some beefier equipment. I've really got this idea in my head that I really want one mining rig. I want to keep one mining rig, but I want it with 12 4090s. How sick would that be? Or 5000 series by the time I get to that point. But anyway, we're going to keep working at it. Again, let me know in the comments below what you guys are doing. Appreciate you watching the video this far. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'm TheTechnicals. See you next time.